Welcome to the Lead Her Radio Show, where up is in and women are on the rise. Featuring your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith, business consultant and strategist, speaker, and international best-selling author. Kim supports women entrepreneurs in becoming top producers in their business. Kim's guests will be sharing business strategies and how to overcome obstacles and achieve true success. And now, here's your host, Kim Boudreaux-Smith.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Bold Thursdays Biz Tips on Lead Her Up Is In. I always say Lead Her Up Is In, women on the rise, but boy, these women my guests have risen and they continue to rise. But anyways, we're broadcasting live from the Bold radio station. Yep, it's me, Kim Boudreaux-Smith. If you want some information on having a show at the Bold radio station, go to www.boldradiostation.com, fill out the form, and either myself or someone from my team will get back in touch with you. There's a lot going on at Bold radio station. That's all I'm going to say. There's a lot going on. And I don't mean just a lot of really neat hosts and shows coming up, but I'm talking about there's a lot going on. We're changing up a lot of things. I love change. Today, my guest is a co-author in the Bold is Beautiful book, and she's also a friend, and she's going to be sharing with us. She's sitting comfortably in my green room, by the way. She's going to be sharing some awesome business strategy and tips and her story, and talking a little bit about her chapter, if she'd like, in the Bold is Beautiful book. But before we move on, I want to cover a couple of things here. As everyone knows, so I'd like to remind you all, on December 20th, we launched Bold is Beautiful, Kindness, Beauty, and Strength book. It became a #1 international best-selling author. We launched it on December 20th. On Friday, that following Monday, we got the notice that we became #1. It is available on Amazon.com. If you have not received your copy, grab it, because... And of course, my opinion, since I compiled the book, is very biased. But these women are beautiful. They all provide such a beautiful, amazing story. And they took their hearts from their sleeves and put it down onto paper. And it's a must read. You definitely do not want to miss this book and get to know these beautiful women. They're just, every single one of them, they're all very amazing. They have a lot going on, and they took the time to share. And I'm just very pleased and proud of them all. I'm in the process of compiling another book, Bold is Beautiful 2. No, that is not the title. Bold is Beautiful, The Bare Truth of Owning a Business, and that will be out in May sometime. If you are interested in the awesome opportunity of being a co-author in an international published book with the intention of bestseller, and we will drive it to bestseller, get in touch with me on my other website at kimbsmith.com, kimbsmith.com. Fill out that contact sheet, and I will definitely get back in touch with you and just say you'd like to learn more about the co-authoring book opportunity. Let me see, what else? How's everyone doing? Oh my gosh, is spring here yet? We're going to move forward with the show today because I know Cindy has a lot to offer for her business strategies and tips. So Cindy Nunnery was one of the co-authors in Bold is Beautiful, the first book that we launched, like I said, December 20th. So Cindy is a #1 international best-selling author. So if we could, let's welcome Cindy out of that comfortable green room and bring her on. Cindy.
Hello, Kim. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I am good.
I know you're right here. Just lets everyone know that Cindy and I, we don't live far from each other. So Cindy and I are dealing with attempting to stay warm because it is cold here in Michigan today.
It's another polar vortex came through.
Oh my goodness, this stuff is crazy. Like I said, is spring here yet? So anyways, share with everybody what it is your business is all about.
Oh, thank you so much. And first, let me thank you, Kim, for having me on as a guest. I am so in awe of what you have going on with the Bold radio station and you yourself and what you give back. So thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it very much. Let me tell you a little bit about me and what I have going on. So I am, as Kim said, a #1 international best-selling author with the help of hers, the wonderful compiler. And I am also an entrepreneur. I am a board certified health coach, and I'm really an advocate for living lives we love every day, happy, healthy, and energized. So what I do, and I'll just keep this brief, is I help women and men, mostly women, but and men, help take an action step to be whatever it is that they want to be every day, starting with their health and wellness. Because if we are not feeling well, if we don't have the energy, we can't accomplish and do what we want to do. Just can't do it. So it really starts with health and well-being, because that does affect everything about us, our moods, our energy, our passion, our clarity, our relationships, our spirituality, our work, every aspect of our life. So I love to share what I've learned with people, what I've gone through myself, in hopes of helping others become the best versions that they can be for themselves.
So what have you gone through when you say, I like to help people, from what you have gone through? So share it with everybody. What is it that you have gone through?
Okay, well, of course, and I'll take it back a bit, but not too far back. So right out of college, I went to work for a very large cosmetic company based out of New York. I worked for them for quite a few years, was very, very successful in sales and account management. And after a while, it just was not going to fit what I was looking for. So I moved on, and I actually joined my brother's technology company that was based in Troy, Michigan at the time, to help his marketing arm. And from that point, I became a partner, and I started to head up and took the management and overseeing of the training department there, which is all technical training. I'm not technical, but you didn't need to be technical to kind of manage everything about that department. And eventually that got sold. So we sold the company to a very large office machines company. And I was there for an additional 2 years after we sold the company, because they didn't want the owners and major shareholders to leave. They wanted us to stay and help make sure that it really got embedded. And it was at that point when I decided to retire, as I call it. And I was in my late 30s, I think, at that point. And I just said, I'm done working for other people. I want to make sure what I do with my life, I get to choose how, when, where, how much time, how much I make. It becomes up to me. And I just took a few years off. I had another child, so at that point I had two. Turning 40, and I was bored, honestly. So I said, I have to do something. I am not the type to just not do anything. And also with a couple young kids, it helps to get out of the house every now and then. So it was at that point that I was really looking to do something on my own. And that is where an opportunity in health and wellness kind of presented itself in my life. And after a couple of years of really looking at it, working with the products, taking the products, seeing, some difference in myself, and other people starting to ask me, what are you doing and what can I do, that I really decided to move forward as a business out of the home again. So it's, it was my business. And since then, I have gone to, numerous trainings and did a lot of education. So spent a week down at Sonaviv Medical Center in Rosarito, Mexico, with some fabulous training down there on nutrition. So I became a nutrition advisor for Sonaviv, and recently graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which is the largest nutrition school, and became a board certified health coach. I am in phase 2 of that training, the second part of that, which is called immersion. So I am still in a lot of it while I'm building my business, full immersed into online health, helping people, with their health, whether it be weight loss, energy, stress relief, wherever they are, what is their next step.
That's really cool. Well, first of all, I know, Cindy, I know that the school IIN is like the premier of nutrition, health nutrition school to attend for whatever reason, whether people want to become a health and wellness coach or nutritional, whatever. I know that's a great, nice platform that you chose there. And I keep forgetting that you are still going to school, even though I know you very well. I keep forgetting that. So you're in your stage, is it stage 2, phase 2? What did you call it? I'm sorry.
I called it phase 2. They call it immersion.
Okay.
So I'm a full board certified health coach. So the health learning side of it's done. This phase 2 immersion is all on business development, business training, all the to get through some of the health learning and learning on that side, and you want to do there's the whole business. So they offer this as an add-on to their year program at no additional cost. So I'm telling you, if anybody does want to check out, if there is an interest in IIN, go to my website, cindynunnery.com, and click on Become a Health Coach, and you can get some information there. Put yourself on the list. You'll get some other information that comes out. But it is truly an amazing school. They are leading the way internationally. They are the biggest international health school out there.
All right. I know that. I have known quite a few people that have gone through the program. It's an amazing program. So what's your next step? So now you're in this phase 2, stage 2 with your education, and I know you're board certified. So where does this lead you next?
Well, what it does is it gives me the ability to now focus back on my business, because when you're going through some, pretty good training in a year time, which was their certification program, you really want to focus on it. So I had to take a little bit of a step back from focusing as much on the business and focusing on the training. Now I'm going to, I have been back immersed in focusing on the business and taking that to the next level. I've been doing health and wellness as a business for 10 years. So now it's really taking it even higher. So all the things that I've had in my head that I could do and thoughts about, how to help more people with their health and wellness, how to, as we call it at IIN, really get that impact going. You help one person with their health, that's going to impact somebody else. It just kind of ripples out, and really help to focus more on driving my business goals and getting it up.
So, today is about, Bold Biz Tips Thursdays, strategies and business tips and things like that. And so I hear you visualizing, it's like I call it by Led Zeppelin, the stairway to heaven. It's the stairways, it's the staircase, the stairs to get to our vision, our big vision, because we've got to have a big vision. We've got to have a vision. And then we come back. Okay, Cindy, I know you know me. I speak in analogies. So here's my analogy for the day. Okay, so we it's fall and the leaves have fallen and we have those eavesdrops on our house and they need to be cleaned. So you and I are like, okay, let's clean our eavesdrops. Okay, so we get the ladder and we go all the way up to check out the eavesdrops first. They are jammed with leaves and God only knows what else. So we've determined what our destination is. The troughs need to be the eavesdrops, they need to be clean. So we come back down the ladder and we put together a plan of action. Okay, we need buckets, gloves, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and to climb back up that ladder to actually get to our destination, which are clean troughs, so they're not backed up, and then we go into other things, being homeowners, So I hear this awesome big vision that you have. Interesting analogy that I just used. Now, where am I getting that since we are backed up with snow here? I'm not ready to fall. Oh my gosh. So I hear you taking these steps towards this big vision. So what can you offer to the listeners? Some tips, some steps, how to keep your eye on the ball and not get distracted and get pulled way over here and off track?
That's such a great question, because that's what happens with a lot of people. And believe me, it probably has happened to you. It still happens to me. we have to stay focused. So really, having, and you mentioned it, having that vision, creating a vision board even, but having that vision, where is it that you see yourself? What do you want to be doing? The big picture, if everything works out, what does it look like? And I picture myself, standing on a stage. I love to talk. I love to present to groups of people. I love to do small groups, large groups, one-on-one. I love to do it over, the phone or over, the internet. And it's just a matter of picturing what it is that you want. So I picture some of these things, and then I also picture and envision what my house looks like. So it's not just what does your work look like, but what does your life look like in the future. And when you have a huge vision and there's clarity in that vision, like you can see it, you can feel it. If you close your eyes and you really think about it, or you look at your vision board, your heart pounds. I mean, it's like, that's who I am. And it's just a matter of getting there. You have your path that you're on. And if you can keep that clear and keep that reminder in front of you, okay, whether it be a vision board or it be a sticky note on your computer or something, whatever it is that you need to do, then everything that you do should be in line with that vision. So you just keep backing it up. And then when you kind of go astray and you're lost, and you will feel it. So you will feel like, what's going on? I feel out of control, or I don't feel focused. Then you can come back to that vision and check the path that you're on to say, is it consistent? Or did I veer way off to the right or the left and I'm just off track? And then come back to it. Because every step, every goal, everything that you do should be in line with, your vision at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make that's one of the things I present on is work-life balance. It's a myth because there isn't such a thing as balance. And to me there isn't such a thing as time management. It's priorities. It's just we can't. Really, time management? There's 24 hours to a day, 7 days a week, 365. All right, so it's priorities. What you're going to do with your priorities within that time. And the same thing with work-life balance. It's a myth, and it's. One of the things I talk about is knowing when to say yes and no. And by the way, the word N-O, it is part of our vocabulary. And it's managing the estrogen guilt that goes with that word no, the second guessing that can come with that word no, the self-doubt that can come with that word no. But when we're so focused on our 8 ball, if you will, focusing on that ball, that vision, we'll know when to say yes and we'll know when to say no, and there won't be any guilt involved because you're so clear on what direction that you're going in. You know when to turn left, you know when to turn right. Sometimes we turn left and we stay left turn a tad bit too long, and that's okay. But when we're so focus driven on that 8 ball, it's easy to pull ourselves back on track, as opposed to getting so far off track, getting overwhelmed and losing hope and, oh my God, stress and all sorts of stuff.
Yes, and you said priorities. Planning is important. I know it's I've decided to pick a word of the okay. So my word of the year this year is focus, and focus really is going to help me get a little bit better at planning my time. And when I can plan my time, then my actions and the yeses that I say and even the no's are going to be a lot easier, like you said, and they will also be able to, be consistent. So planning is huge. Whether you plan on Sunday night for the week and you look and you write down what are the priorities of things that I need to get done for the week, and you get those written down, and then you can whatever day you're going to accomplish it, and then also look in the morning, every morning, at what do I absolutely have to get done, what's on my list, and you work it from that with knowing that it's consistent with where you're going, where you are, driving yourself, it will become easier for those no's, which is hard for, women sometimes to say no, like you said. But it is important to understand that we have to, and when we know why we're saying it, like you said, with clarity, it's huge, can have a huge impact.
Yeah, I love saying the word no, and I love saying the word yes. But when I say the word no, it's because I know, K-N-O-W. Gosh, we have so many in our English language.
I know.
It's interesting. I know to say no. It's my inner wisdom. I know what path I'm traveling down, and I know when to say no. I know where to go. I know where not to go, and things like that. So, yeah. And, and there's no second guessing or self-doubt or any overwhelm or anything like that. And something, Cindy, I feel we're more aligned with ourselves when we're like this, and so there's less disease. We become healthier, and I don't just mean physically. I mean mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Whole, W-H-O-L-E, whole. And we're more directive, and I feel that we are now managing our time, or we're managing our lives, and life is not controlling us.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. So, what made you step into the health and wellness field? Now, I know this answer, and it's an awesome answer. So, I want the world to know this one.
And I'll keep this because I could speak for a whole half hour on my why did I do this. And to set that up, so knowing your vision, huge. Knowing your why and your purpose is bigger, I think. Because once you get down to knowing your why and your purpose for why you're doing what you're doing, or why you are planning things and heading in the direction, I mean, it's so powerful. And I didn't really realize my why until, and I didn't want to realize my why until I had to share it. And then it became just this powerful thing, So, and my why is around health and wellness. Obviously, I'm in health and wellness. So my why is very consistent with that. So my daughter's 15 right now, and it actually goes back before that, when I started to have my children at 37 and 39. So that's not old by any means. Okay, I'm older than that, knock on wood, but it's not young to have children. Usually it's late 20s, early 30s, 35, but I was 37 and 39. So I had, I was up there, and just shy of my 40th birthday when I had my daughter by my son, my second, by a month. So it wasn't like, it was early 39, I was late 39. And I was starting to think about my health and mortality, and started to look around at what people were like in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and didn't really like what I saw, a lot of sick people. When my daughter was 5, I remember helping my sister move my niece to college. So my sister, who's a couple years older than me, was moving her firstborn daughter to her freshman year at college when my daughter was starting kindergarten that month later. So I helped her move my niece to school, and it was kind of like a joke. She's like, well, when we're moving Sheridan to school, you're going to be the old one on campus. I said, you know what, sis, that's fine with me. I'll just hire the young hunks to help instead of having to do the work. But it made me think about being a little bit older and wanting to be healthy. Fast forward a little bit, actually backwards, and then I'll fast forward again. When my daughter was, she was in the hospital 21 days after she was born because she was preemie. She was probably home, a couple weeks, I think, and my mom was staying with me. My mother spit up some blood. And she went to the doctor, got everything checked out, and she was diagnosed with stage A lung cancer and given 2 years to live. Now, knock on wood, I'll way fast forward, she is still around today. So obviously she beat it, and that's a good thing. But here I am, an older mother, not old, but an older mother with a newborn, and a mother who is, let's see, gosh, she was young. She's 70, she'll be 78, I think. Mom, I hope you're not listening. So she's 78 today, and this was 15 years ago. So she was young. I mean, she's young, and to be diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, given 2 years to live, that can really, and you have a little baby, it knocks you. Knocks just the fact that your mom's going through that, but then it's like, oh my goodness. So, over the years, really with quadruple bypass, my dad had to have, his mother died and I never met my father's mother, my grandmother on my paternal side, because she had died of ovarian cancer when she was in her 40s. And the heart disease and all of that on my mother's side, and cancer here, and this disease everywhere. And I had a little baby, and then a couple years later I had another baby, and then I'm well into my 40s, and I'm like, oh my God. And then I started getting tired, not feeling good. So health really became huge because I wanted to be around for my kids when they got older and had kids of their own. I wanted to be around and alive and well. Not alive and sick, but alive and well. So that's when I really started to look at what I was doing. And it's been a long journey. The journey continues. But it's really what, it really was the thing that got me into the health and wellness. And then, knowing I'm not the only one out there like that, has, this history of sickness and disease, these degenerative diseases and these lifestyle diseases that we don't have to have, really solidified it. And that's what really pushed me into learning more and more and more, and is still continuing to really push and drive me in, sharing what I know, what's worked for me and many others, in hopes of making that difference in somebody else. And thus a business in health and wellness, is born and has a huge, huge future in front of it, because I don't see, sickness and disease, with all our great strides in medicine, is only getting worse, not better.
Cindy, first of all, what you just offered everybody right in there is, I have to tell you, because I again, just to reiterate, I do know you very well, and I get to be around this, and when I was listening to you, it was like you were singing magic. I didn't have to hang on to every single word here that you were saying, because it was like silk. It was like magic, because you're stepping in from your personal experiences plus your passion, and it was like literally you were just playing such a well fine-tuned orchestra just a moment ago. But there is one thing you said in there that really just popped out to me, among a lot of things that you just said, is the journey. It's a journey. It is a journey. And we cannot perfect our health and our lives in one day. It is a journey. We're going to mess up. I mean, come on, Cindy, let's you and I go to Saji's, and we're going to have some pommes frites and a sangria. Is that the most healthiest thing to be eating? No. Do we do it every day? No. But we're human. You know what I'm saying? So I love the fact that you brought around, it's a journey.
It is a journey. It's not an end. You have your vision. You have where you want to go. And it's been pretty consistent. It's not an end, because I never see myself at the end of life. I just, this that I've created, and it's not about getting from point A to point B, from where I am today to what I see in the future, although that drives a lot, but it's about enjoying the journey along the way. And that's the same thing with business as it is with health, as it is with relationships. Anything that you can pick, it's, you have to understand that it's one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. 1 year at a time, a 5-year chunk, or, sometimes for doing a startup business, it's like you got to put a chunk of time, and it's not weeks or months, it's years to get something off the ground. But it's that journey, and enjoying and learning from that journey is probably, you can't get any better education than paying attention to what's going on around you and what you're doing, and what you're doing with your own journey, the goods, right?
Yeah.
The successes and the failures along the way.
Mm-hmm. And I like to consider those failures. I'm not trying. I'm really working hard on shifting a little bit of my languaging. Is failures, mistakes, they're lessons, because Henry Ford had a lot of lessons. Walt Disney had a lot of lessons. We all have lessons, but these lessons are opportunities for us to go back and just do it even better the next time and learn from it and grow, which again, that also plays into our well-being, our health.
Yes. And just to something that you said, that talking about, my why and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it was very fluid. And thank you for having it sound like an orchestra. But that's an important thing to note, and for women who, anybody doing a business, that when you get in touch with your why, your story, if it's not real and coming, like if you haven't dug in deep enough. I mean, I started, my heart was pounding, and I had tears in my eyes. You can't see it, and hopefully you couldn't hear it too much when I talk about my story, because it has to do with my family and their health and mortality and sickness and disease. And, think about it. You have your mom diagnosed, but it's so real. And it's important to reach that in why you're doing what you're doing.
Yep.
And if you just use some canned, thing that you think people are going to want to hear, it's not real, and people can sense that, and they will get that, in authenticity.
Yeah.
So you have to speak with authenticity. You are in, and that, besides making it very clear from a health perspective, doing it for yourself is so much less stress on your body, your mind, your soul, because you're not faking. You're not making something up. It's like it's real. And it wasn't something that I really willingly wanted to share out with people, because to me, I had always felt that it made me vulnerable. When I talk about that, and then I would see people like, oh, and but then I'm like, they're not feeling sorry for me. They're feeling sadness. And if I look deep enough at some of the reactions when I tell people this, I see pain in their eyes and in their faces. And then I know they know what I'm talking about, because they have that in their own life, whatever their circumstances are. So it really, sometimes we don't want to share something that makes us vulnerable. But sometimes when we do that, there's a lot of strength behind that.
Cindy, my thing is we never know, when we do speak our truth and speak from our heart, we never know who out there in that moment may need to hear it, or maybe don't need to hear it in that given moment, but a couple days down the road, or a couple months down the road, or a couple years down the road, that our words can really serve and help other people in their time of need, and inspire them and motivate them and encourage them. So when we hold back, it's like when we hold back, we harden our hearts. We harden those muscles, and from not sharing, So it's just speak it. Just speak it and be it as it is. Some people will listen, some people won't. We just lead them to the water, and it's up to them to drink it.
That's right.
It's totally up to them to drink it. Okay, so please give everybody how they can get in touch with you.
Very easy. CindyNunnery.com, CindyNunnery.com. Best way, I've got a contact me page on there. You can shoot me over an email anytime. Facebook, I have Powered by Nutrition. So it's POWERED by Nutrition is my Facebook page, and you can also message me through that page as well.
Okay. Awesome. That's wonderful. So, Cindy, I want to ask one more question here. If just offer some words of wisdom on somebody that is, like around our age or a couple years younger, and, and they hear us, they see what it is we're doing, and they hear us, and they watch us, and they say, you know what, I just don't know what my passion is, and I just don't know what this is, and, and I'm tired of being sick and tired, and I just don't have the energy. And even, you don't even have to stay around what I just offered here. What words of wisdom can you render to somebody who's always had a dream to start a business, but they've got so much stuff holding them back?
That's very good, and it's a huge question, right?
Yes.
So you could do multiple shows on this because it can go in so many different ways. If you know that you want to do something and you just can't figure out what it is, you really have to start, looking inside. You want to start to look at, who you are, what is working in your life, what isn't, where in your life do you get really turned on and excited? Where does your power come from? Your power source. I get great power from helping people, even with the simplest, littlest thing. It feeds my power huge. So I get a lot of power in the bank for future just by, one person. And to look around to see where you may be caught in the matrix, okay? And what I mean by caught in the matrix is, we have these beliefs and these concepts. We have all this emotional and spiritual programming going on around us. There's a government agenda, church agenda, there's corporate agenda, there's, society, and we have all these things. And then we've got, all these collective beliefs that come from, food, fashion, aspect in our life. And it really gets us into this matrix that really dictates how it dictates us the rules about, our health, relationship, and how we are with food and spirituality and entrepreneurship. It's like we get entangled in this that, kind of doesn't leave freedom, okay? It almost is like it hypnotizes us in forgetting who we are, our true self, our true essence, and our greatness. Because in the matrix, we really never look good enough to ourselves. We really think we're alone in the world. It doesn't, really display that we should have a lot of trust with others. I mean, it's really, it has us running more on stress and survival mode than it is, the things that really drive us from. So looking around and kind of noticing so that you can escape that matrix and really get yourself out of and start to see what is it about you, your uniqueness inside you and dictated to us, okay, how we grew up. I mean, I grew up, you go to school, you get a job, or for boys, okay, you grow up, you get a job, you work there a long time, and you retire, and you move to Florida, and you have a good life. For women, for girls, for me, it was you go to school, and if you find a guy at school, great, you don't have to finish school, find a husband, have kids, take care of the family, and everything's wrapped around you in a support mode. And that just wasn't true to me. My father was an entrepreneur. And that's just in my blood. So it's kind of, at some point, it was kind of having to crack that mold and escape out of that matrix of, that whole thought philosophy. And, kind of seeing it. So keep your eyes open, take off the rose-colored or green-colored glasses, and notice. Because then you can, and everything becomes clear. So I'm not one of those, the 10 steps to start a business and, all of that. You get there, and that's more the how-to. I'm talking about, the why, and the how-to is the easiest part. It's just getting to, to understand who you are in it, so that you can kind of kick yourself in the butt and get moving with it.
Yes.
Say it any other way,
So, I love everything, Cindy, that you just said. And before we wrap this up, I want to add to that is, it's just begin with one step. And my suggestion is find something for yourself, whether it's a walk around the block or a walk through the park, because of Mother Nature, or taking on, a 5-minute meditation or a yoga class, something that you've always been wanting to do. Start there with yourself and then blossom from there. There's so many people out there you can connect with on social media, but step into your passion. And so I always like to ask the question is, what is it? What is it that you would love to do no matter what? And begin there, but begin with doing one thing for yourself and taking care of yourself, because that's the bottom line, is the most important thing. So
I couldn't agree more. It's one of the things that I kind of preach on, for lack of a better word. If you don't have your health and you don't have the energy, you will not be able to do what great things you're up to in life, whether it be taking care of your family or whether it be starting a business or supporting. If you don't have your health, and you just, it's not going to work. You won't have the energy, or everything, everything comes back to you are the driver in the car of your life, and you've got to make sure that as the driver, you put your oxygen mask on and you take care of yourself. And like you said, sometimes it's as simple as, when you get foggy, go take a walk.
Yep.
Get some clarity, and you will find opportunities in the funniest of places, because it's about you. And that's where, I found it in looking at myself, and it's like, oh, there's many other people out there like me. I mean, as simple as there's people who have found businesses, left-handed, colorblind people who want to be, artists. I mean, and there's probably a business out there specific to that, because there's people out there with a need. And I know I kind of went, on an extreme on that. But when you start to, do things for yourself, first of all, it's okay. And second of all, you will see so much more possibilities that come out of that. And you will find a little bit more from the universe that'll come in and kind of, steer you in an area of, where you will be the most effective, and it could be a business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let's wind this down, Cindy, with how everybody, again, please can get in touch with you.
Sure thing. And again, I want to thank you so much for having me on. I so appreciate it.
My pleasure.
My name is Cindy Nunnery. If you haven't gotten it yet. CindyNunnery.com. And on Facebook, it's Powered by Nutrition. Twitter is @Cindy Nunnery, and LinkedIn is also Cindy Nunnery. And through any one of those places, you can get a hold of me and get in touch with me.
Mm. Yeah, so please reach out to Cindy. Don't you have something on your tell me on your website that some of the people can, I know there's recipes.
Yes, and I'm actually I got a new section being created. Very, very excited about it. But on my website, there's a free 8 things that you can do from a health and wellness standpoint. So it's a free download called Feel Good and Be Happy Inside and Out, 8 simple things you can do. And you for that. There is a recipe under my favorite things. So at cindynunnery.com, you click on my favorite things. You will find some free recipes. There's a ton of recipes out there, and I'm actually adding a whole bunch more. There's a free goodies area. There's other books and reads, and there's some other things that I'll be adding there. Also, through my newsletter, I send out a lot of free things, tips and techniques, and post on my Facebook page, recipes, and different things.
Yeah, absolutely. So please reach out. I mean, go to Cindy's website and go shopping and mosey around and have some fun cyber shopping on her website. So, hey, listen, how about that cyber shopping on your website? I like that.
That's right.
Yeah, and get yourself some recipes and some ideas. And there's a nice first step for caring for yourself is eating, the health.
Yes.
Yeah, healthy choices. So Cindy, thank you so much for being my guest today at Lead Her Up is in Women on the Rise. This is Bold Biz Tips Thursdays. I hope everybody out there listening was able to take away a golden nugget or a huge boulder for yourselves to take some strategies and move yourself forward to that dream that you are so desiring to live, or if you are living your dream, how to make that dream more high leverage. Make it bigger, make it bigger, make it bigger. I'm all about making our dreams bigger because, like Cindy said, it's a journey, not just with our health. It's everything. It's a journey. And this is not a fast sprint. This is about a journey. So thank you again, Cindy. If everybody would stay tuned, I have a show Monday evening and also again next week at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time next Thursday. Also on the Bold radio station, we've got a lot going on, a lot of changes. We got a lot of new shows starting. We've got current shows that are just amazing. We're getting ready to do some promotional things as well for parents and safety with internet with kids. We've got a lot going on getting ready to be launched here for March. I need some spring exciting things coming on here. It's been a long winter up here in Michigan. So if you could all go out there and make it a day, remember, Lead Her. It's for all women and men as well. And don't stop. Do not stop. Don't stop. Keep dreaming, step into your dream, take the steps. It's a step at a time. Sometimes it's multiple steps, but keep moving forward and build yourself an awesome, like-minded, strong community. So go make it a good week. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Stay warm for those of you living in cold states, and we'll see you here next week. Take care.